The Nissan Leaf is the grandfather of EVs. Since 2010, Nissan have sold over 650,000 of them worldwide. We're on our second one and we love it. However, if you want to charge the Nissan Leaf, there are more CCS chargers these days than there are CHAdeMO. And CHAdeMO is the Betamax of charging standards. CCS is everywhere and CHAdeMO is dying off. So what can you do to prolong the life of your Leaf? Maybe an adapter is the way to go. I'm here to see an adapter called the EV Boy, and it allows you to plug your Leaf into a CCS charger. How cool is that? I'm here with Paul Eden. He is the mover and shaker of the Nissan Leaf Owners Group UK on Facebook. Is that the right name of the group?
Nissan EV Owners, yes.
There we go, Nissan EV Owners Group.
This is it. It's good, isn't it? You haven't seen one before, have you?
I've seen one before. This is the EV Boy.
This is the EV Boy, yes.
Okay.
This is currently the cheapest one that we can get. At the moment, Conrad, the importer, is selling them only exclusively in my group, which you just joined last night, actually. Yeah. So there's a small computer inside here that allows the handshaking to be translated between the two systems. Very clever. Okay. A lot of people forget to charge it up, and that's also where the firmware goes and the diagnostics, which I haven't actually done yet.
Okay, so it's got a battery inside it.
Has a battery inside it and a small computer, yeah. Because the protocols for CCS and CHAdeMO are completely different. There's almost nothing that they have in common, so there is a computer inside this, yeah. Okay, right, should we give it a go?
Yeah, how does it work?
We go into the CHAdeMO slot here. The handshaking is quite slow, so I don't normally turn it on. So if we grab this, and if you authorise it on your app, Andrew.
Okay, yep. Right.
And when you've clicked pay, then I'll turn this on, and that usually means that the timing comes together.
Okay.
It's not an exact science. This is not the way that the manufacturers recommend to do it. However, it is the way that I've found most success.
And this is the first time me using the GridServe app.
Is it?
So initialising charge session, it says, preparing to charge.
And you are charging.
Look at that. That's amazing.
I still get a kick out of it, even though I've had this for a couple of months. And I used a different brand first back in last winter actually. But I still get a kick out of this.
Yeah.
Because you've been in this game longer than I have, and I'm sure that you've been saying to other Leaf owners, they say to you, are we ever going to get a CCS adapter? And we've always said, no, we're not, because it's really hard to do. And then all of a sudden, we do. And we are, and we're standing here, it's brilliant.
Obviously it's waterproof, right?
It is shower proof, yes.
Okay.
I mean, I have used it in biblical rain, and it works just fine. Its IP is, Conrad, it's IP54, which I think means that you can get it wet, but you can't immerse it.
It's a really complex adapter.
It is.
Because CHAdeMO and CCS are completely different.
They have, in terms of the protocol, they're nothing in common.
Yeah, and in fact, I've always loved CHAdeMO because I've always found it more reliable. In the early days, CHAdeMO always worked on the old electric highway chargers.
Yes.
Always found CHAdeMO brilliant. CCS was a little bit iffy.
The CHAdeMO protocol, the software that runs CHAdeMO over here, is much better defined, much closer defined, because it was done by the CHAdeMO consortium. CCS was a bit sort of thrown together, and it still is now.
How long have you been in the group, and how long have you been sort of moderating and everything?
I've been in the group for about 3 years. The group was fairly quiet when I arrived, and it sort of took off, and Petter, the boss, asked me to take the reins, so to speak. He's largely absent. He's a lovely fella, but he is not particularly active. So yes, a mover and shaker is a good description of what I do within the group. Yeah. So we cover not just Leafs and gorgeous blue ones like these, EMV200s and the Aria, and I drove an e-Power X-Trail recently, which is quite good fun.
Okay. Have you found the group getting busier since you've started?
Oh yeah, very much. Yeah.
And is that because there's renewed interest in the Leaf because it's such good value on the second-hand market?
It is, because most of our users come in as second-hand owners.
Yeah.
We've got a number of ARIA owners. Hello, Hannah. She's a lease owner. Most of the ARIA owners are leases, but the vast majority are used Leafs, and the vast majority are Gen 1s, like ours.
Okay. Yeah. And so how long have you had yours?
Just over 3 years.
3 years. And that's a 24 kilowatt hour?
It's a 30.
That's the 30, okay.
That's a 30. It's a 2016 car,
Okay.
30 kilowatt, yeah. I got it on 55,000 miles and it's now 86.
Okay. How many bars?
10.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not too bad, no. The HX, the internal resistance, is suffering a little bit.
Okay.
And that's why it's charging quite slowly today. And it doesn't like the heat either. But as you've often said, and you're absolutely correct, the 24 battery, other than its overall capacity, is a great pack, certainly compared to that.
Yes, okay.
I don't like admitting it, but it is the case.
So what sort of range do you get out of that?
About 80 miles.
Okay.
We left on 98 and the gasometer was wrong, as it often is. We got here, we did 55 mile drive to get here, and we arrived with 28 remaining.
Right.
So, so 80 something.
Yeah, okay. And why do you love the Leaf so much?
Well, I don't love its looks, let's be honest. I don't think anybody does, because it's not a pretty car. However,
my daughter loves its looks.
I know she does, and I find that sweet. It's extremely cheap to run.
Yes.
I mean, I'm getting 4.4 kilowatt miles to the kilowatt hour today, and in real money, that's less than 2 pence a mile.
Yes.
So I have driven 55 miles from my home in Buckinghamshire to here as a grid serve Gatwick, and I've spent about 26 pence.
Yeah.
What's your next question?
No, that's amazing. And for anyone that wants a decent run around, they're so cheap these days, aren't
They are. I mean, I haven't priced it recently, but I don't think that's worth more than £3,000. It's in relatively good condition.
Well, better than mine.
Well, yours is
Mine
dirty.
It's dirty. I've got condensation there and mould on the seat and everything. Problem is, we don't use it as much.
No, that's the thing.
Yeah.
No, that gets used every day,
Yeah.
and especially in the winter and in the really high summer, the aircon is on, and that keeps the cabin in really good condition.
Yes. Yeah. I know. We need to use ours more.
Yeah.
So the big question is, how much is it?
That's a really good question. It was, last time I looked, it was £780, and that is the cheapest one you can get at the moment. Bear in mind that when they first came from China, they were £1,200, £1,300.
And you can see from the specifications here that it accepts up to 77 kilowatts of charging speed, if the car supports it, obviously. And it also works with the Lexus UX300e and the 2017 Kia Soul.
For turning the Leaf into a CCS car, that's actually not bad.
No, it's not bad. No. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can get CCS conversions.
Yes.
You know, somewhere deepest European mainland, but they're not cheap and they're not simple. Yeah. They're not terribly reliable either.
Right. Okay. And have you found, talking about reliability, have you found this works everywhere or not?
Yes. The short answer is yes. When I first got it, we had some trouble with ABB chargers. Actually, this make.
Okay. Yeah.
But we quickly found the solution was a firmware update, and there's a video of me doing a firmware update on this adapter on my channel, and it started to work completely. It went into slow mode charge. It was charging at 3 kilowatts, right. But a firmware update on ABBs, as you see it, GridServe and Pulse, I think, fixed it quite quickly.
And you get lifetime updates, is that right, with the EV Boy?
As far as I understand, yes. I've already had 2 updates since I've had it, and one was just the other day.
Is the only way of getting this through Conrad, who's one of your group members?
The only way of getting this particular one, yes, is through Conrad. There are other ones. Penny at Sixpence EV in China. She's lovely. Hers was the first one I tried in the winter, last winter. She also does them from a company called Acrane in Chelmsford in Essex somewhere, in this country. Okay. So yes, there are a number of places you can get them.
Right. So how many members do you have in the group?
Well, Current projection is that we're going to have about 6,000 within the next few days. We average 1,000 a year, and we got 5,000th member just after New Year 2024 this year. So I'm expecting the 6,000th member any day now. We have quiet periods. It tends to be quieter in the summer. People are away perhaps. And then the car buying season seems to be in the spring. I don't know, I can't explain it. Some of our viewers will know. And we tend to get big groups, big intakes of members.
Okay, so I'm going to stop charge. Charging stop.
That one releases that. And this one, notice that this one won't release while it's charging.
Okay. What a brilliant way of prolonging the life of the Leaf, because that's the thing. I know a lot of people that comment on my videos say that, well, because CHAdeMO is dying,
And they're right.
yeah, and they're right, then obviously they wouldn't consider the Leaf, but something like this, when you add it onto the cost of a second-hand Leaf, which is cheap, then actually it makes it a viable.
For me, and for many people, I suspect a lot of people, it's a second car, and I know it is for you as well.
Yeah.
And this literally gets me from Buckinghamshire to work in London and back. And I've done more rapid charging using this adapter than I've ever done before. It's the only reason I'm rapid charging because I've got the adapter and people want to see it. But the rest of the time, it charges at home overnight and gets me to work and back, job done. Yeah. The CHAdeMO is just not an issue for me. It just isn't. Yeah. This is just a sideshow, a bit of fun.
Thank you very much for watching this video. Please press the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified of other videos, and I'll be back soon when a car alarm isn't going off in the background.